evening, Night City. My first guest tonight is the president of the Church of Eliyahu the Last Emancipator and bane of Arasaka's PR department, one Reverend Colver.
Praise be to thee, our Father in heaven.
And our second guest is Karina Lee, host of the Chip-In program, which promotes the use of cybernetic implants. How's life treating you, beautiful?
Can't complain, Ziggy. Thanks for having me.
Now, I'd like us to talk about the most exclusive and highly sought-after implant on the market today, Arasaka Corp's Relic. But maybe we ought to make sure our fair audience is up to speed. Karina, what is Relic exactly? In a word, if you could.
In one word, I'd say immortality.
Immortality? Really?
That's right. Relic allows you to transfer the consciousness from a dying person, finding a new home for their soul on a transferable chip. This person, they'll never leave your side, a companion forever with you in your own consciousness. Just imagine
Child, think for a moment about what you're saying. This relic is an abomination that feeds on human misery. It is an unnatural likeness, a golden calf born by false prophets. Arasaka speaks of preserving the soul, but they can promise nothing more than a heartless, mindless algorithm speaking with the voice of the departed. What's more, this technology is just another tool of coercion and corruption. Only the wealthy and powerful elite will have access, and they will pay any price in exchange for a chance at this so-called immortality.
Well, that is true that Arasaka Corp has specifically limited access to the relic in order to...
Your promise is a lie, an evil lie, motivated by greed and lust for power that...
Now that is rich.
Hey, excuse me?
False promises, greed, a lust for power. Why, it sounds an awful lot like a church to me.
What? How dare you?
Do you not promise a life after death? Do you not charge funeral fees to a family in mourning? Maybe the Reverend is just afraid of some healthy competition, huh?
Competition? You believe everything in this world can be counted, measured, rationalized.
And wouldn't we be right? We can construct artificial brains, create new consciousness.
But I ask you why? What does that give us? Are we as a people on this earth any happier for it? You claim that this relic gives eternal life, but all I see is an eternity of suffering. Rather than say goodbye, we haunt ourselves with their voices, their presence. But
what do you folks think? Who holds the truth?
Hearts,
is it Ms. Lee or maybe Reverend Colver? That is up to you. Send Colver or Lee to 7892 to cast your vote and enter your name for a chance to win tickets to this year's playoffs. Until next time, Night City. Toodles. Howdy, howdy, Night City. Welcome back. My guest tonight is Lieutenant Sarah Kokoski, spokeswoman for the NCPD. Hi there. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Ziggy. Thanks for having me.
I hope you made it to the studio without any issues. No carjackings or drive-bys along the way?
No. Fortunately, the streets of Night City are getting safer every day. We've seen recorded homicides drop from 7,103 a year ago to just...
Hold on. The streets are safe, you say, but what about the highways?
I'm sorry?
You heard about the shooting off the Route 1 exit, I trust. Half an hour before any response team arrived on the scene. Over 700 rounds fired in that time. What happened? Where are the gunmen now?
Well, the NCPD is responsible for the safety and security of all citizens within city limits.
Sarah, sweetheart, don't feed us some NCPD script. Be honest with our viewers. When will they finally be safe? When will they no longer need to carry a concealed weapon for a trip to the mall or to take their kids to play ball in the park?
The NCPD is doing everything it can.
Huh. Look at that cop squirm.
Good evening, Night City! Our special guest tonight is a biologist and professor at NCU, Oliver Hernandez. Give it up, folks!
Thanks, Ziggy. Pleasure to be here.
So, apparently, you made a petition to bring birds back to Night City.
That's correct. Since the establishment of the Avian Extermination Act almost 15 years ago, we've seen the complete destruction of the ecosystem, a rapid increase in the insect population.
Do you recall what happened in 51?
Excuse me?
The first major outbreak of bird flu. 7,000 innocent people dead.
Sure, but...
Fast forward to 59, more than 10,000 innocent dead. 12,000 dead in 61.
Don't get me wrong, Ziggy, those were tragic times, but we have to understand that all this could have been avoided if we hadn't destroyed these birds' natural environment, which...
Here with us tonight is a mother who lost both her children in 59. Stand up, please, Margot. Go on, Professor. Say it to her face. Tell her she's responsible for her children's deaths.
What? No, please, that's not what I'm trying to...
Ladies and gentlemen, which would you choose? People or pigeons?
That's not what this is all about. If birds go extinct, well, ow! Stop! Tell him to stop it, for Christ's sakes. Ouch! This is ridiculous. Stop it! Ow!
You're lucky you made it out alive, you son of a bitch! Mark my words, Night City. Ziggy Q won't let anyone hurt you. Tune in again tomorrow for another Night After Night with Ziggy Q, only on N54. Good evening, Night City! Our guest with us tonight is Martin Coleman, an ordinary night citizen who... Well, Martin, how would you describe your situation?
Well, as you can see, I lost my arms.
A real tragedy, Martin. Was it an accident? Were you attacked by nomads?
No, nothing like that. Okay, so, back in 56, I was working at New American Auto Works.
The NAA, sure. Go on.
Well, the company hit a few snags, decided to start cutting costs. One day they call us all into the break room, tell us we're inefficient, slow, weak, what have you. So they give us a choice. Either we replace our arms with Zeta Tech cyberware, or we get terminated. No severance package.
And what did you do?
What anyone in my place would have done. I had 2 girls. A wife who couldn't work. I didn't have a choice. And it's not like it was free. They forced us to buy them on credit. 20-year installments, fixed to our salaries. Everything was fine at first. The arms were all right. But then, a year later, NAA went under. I was out on the street. Applied anywhere I could for a job. Walked into every factory. I would have worked for any's. But there was nothing. Nada. Zilch. I started falling back on my payments. A month goes by, then the second, and the third month. Then, Zeta Tech sends its repo squad. I was on my knees, begging for another month, even a week. But they didn't listen. They tased me, ripped out my arms, and just left me there. My daughters, they...
I can tell you're still hurting. Even got some tears there. How about drying them with Militech's brand new Dropner 5X?
What? No. No. This isn't happening.
Oh, but it is. Ziggy Q's is where it's always happening.
I can't believe it. Ziggy, oh my God.
Got a story you want to share with the world? A tragic accident? Family drama? Don't wait. Call 1-900-ZIGGY-Q. Good evening, Night City! Joining us in the studio tonight is Maria Jimenez, reporter for the Pacific and a cyberspace specialist. And of course, the author of her new book, The Undoing Fall of the First Net. Maria, rumor has it that you were once a net runner.
Is that right?
Well, is it true? Oh, and there it is, folks. Now, the question is, Maria, do you still go to cyberspace?
No. Promised myself I'd never set foot in there again.
And why's that?
Because I don't want to fry my brain to a crisp. Cyberspace was never safe to begin with. But after Rach Bartmoss unleashed rabbits, the place turned into a hellscape overnight.
Hell? As in lakes of fire and demons poking you with pitchforks?
No. I'm talking about malware that can flatline you in a matter of nanoseconds. AIs that creep into your brain via your connection. Data vortexes that would make a sane person lose their mind.
Sounds spooky, but someone must still be in there, right?
Mm-hmm. Probably over-chipped corpos in cryosuits using up half the energy grid. Or just crazy people.
All right, but let's say I, Ziggy Q, jacked myself into cyberspace.
Your brain would implode. Literally. The internal pressure in your head had increased 3 times over. Without a dedicated...
Let's forget about that for a sec. What would I see in those few nanoseconds before I flatline?
All depends on you. Cyberspace is data flowing straight into your brain. It bypasses all of your normal senses. Sight, touch, hearing. You'd have to visualize it somehow. Otherwise, well, you know what happens. You'd see some clouds resonating, pixels falling in a drizzle. It's hard to describe.
Fascinating. And just a tad disturbing. After all, this is cyberspace we're talking about. But us ordinary netizens, we don't have anything to worry about, right?
I think you're going to have to reread my book, Ziggy.
That I will, Maria. And everyone else watching should do the same. Maria Jimenez's book, The Undoing Fall of the First Net, available tomorrow in stores near you. Thanks for being on the show with us, Maria. Well, Night City, our time's up. Till next time. Good evening, Night City! Joining us tonight is a doctor specializing in psychiatry and cybernetics. Spoiler alert, he's a smart guy. Please welcome Ivan Guerreiro!
I'm truly flattered, Mr. Q. Greetings to all in Night City.
Am I right in saying you're a cyberpsychosis therapist?
That's correct.
So how are things in the Mac stack?
Good one, Mr. Q. I actually work in the Oak Ridge Hospital.
Well, you sure are a funny guy, Ivan. Let's go back to basics, shall we? Just what is cyberpsychosis?
It's a spectrum of psychological disorders caused by cybernetic implantation.
But look, I've got 7 implants myself, and I haven't completely lost my mind, though my ex-wife would probably disagree.
Everyone has their own breaking point. Some patients get symptoms after their first implant. Others remain in perfect psychological health even after what we call a full-body conversion.
Fascinating. So tell us, Doc, what causes cyberpsychosis?
Well, it depends on a lot of things, but the most vulnerable are undoubtedly those who display antisocial tendencies.
What if implants aren't the real problem? I mean, sooner or later, wouldn't those kinds of people snap by themselves?
Interesting question, Mr. Q. In all fairness, there are prominent voices in the scientific community who claim we're confusing correlation with cause and effect. Some go even further and say that cyberpsychotic attacks are a manifestation of societal degradation, like mass shootings once were. Only difference now is that people don't just have a gun. They've got implants to murder others.
And what's your personal opinion, Ivan?
I'd start by saying that there's an indisputable connection between cybernetification and psychological disorders. We've seen this with rats. When we replace 1/3 of their body with cybernetic equivalents, they become 5 times more likely to display psychotic tendencies than the control group.
Sheesh! Well, I just hope I don't meet any of those cyber rats on the subway.
But, and I can't stress this enough, disorders are a product of one's cultural surroundings. They don't necessarily lead to violence.
Well, now wait a sec. You're saying that cyberpsychos are violent because...
Because our society is obsessed with violence. You could even say we glorify it.
Fascinating. Now, Ivan, let's say I've got a few implants and I'm worried I'm starting to feel some symptoms. What should I do?
Well, the good news is that a treatment exists, and so far it's effective. We call it brain dance neuro reintegration. Over a few dozen sessions, we subject a patient's cortical nodes to intense stimuli, recovering positive attributes like obedience, docility, sociability, and of course...
Just say it, Doc. You're giving them shock therapy.
I beg your pardon? That's not what I said. You're putting words in my mouth.
Is that so? Well, our next guest, Joyce Wright, wants to give you a piece of her mind, about this so-called therapy. We're about to get mental, folks, right after this short break. Good evening, Night City! Tonight's guest requires no introduction, as he's a staple on this show, but for tradition's sake, please welcome the star of Braindance, Rodrigo Martinez! Long time no see, Rody.
Hey, up top.
Prime Optics. Wait, don't tell me. Kuroshi?
What else? How about you? Still a Biodyne man?
Hey, if it works fine, why change it? I'd recommend the Model 300 XS to anyone in the blink of an eye. But let's get down to brass tacks. Your newest Braindance, Metal Wars, Metal Hearts, comes out tomorrow. Care to tell us a bit more?
First off, it's a masterpiece. The feeling you get as a tank driver, burning fuel in your nostrils, being one with the machine. Oh, you gotta relive it yourself. Explaining won't do it justice. I know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so I play Luis Morales, and this is all based on a true story. Morales led the 6th Platoon of Armored Cavalry in the Battle of Ridgecrest.
If I recall correctly, the Free States outnumbered NUSA forces 6-1.
That's right, caught him in a trap. The Free States demanded an unconditional surrender, but the President Myers decided Militech, that is the NUSA, would fight to the bitter end. Picture the scene, Ziggy. You're in the desert. The sun's going down. Suddenly you see a line of Nebuto tanks, a wall of dust trailing behind them. You kiss your only picture of your wife and kids, tighten your grip on the hard leather steering grips, and then you just go. Your tank's rattling. You can feel the rocks under your treads as if you were walking over them barefoot. Explosions everywhere, shattered glass and shrapnel bouncing off the hull. I mean, it's just indescribable.
I don't know, Rhodey. You seem to be doing a pretty decent job.
Well, I'm flattered, Ziggy, but you really have to relive it yourself, really feel it.
Tell us, Rodrigo, don't you think it's a bit too soon for a brain dance like this? The war was only a few years ago. Tens of thousands of people died. Cali split into two halves. Neighbors versus neighbors, brothers against brothers.
Who am I to judge? I don't think this brain dance is meant to show one side as the heroes and the other as the bad guys. It's a story about courage, bravery, about having the taste of victory in your mouth.
Well, Rodrigo, you sure got my appetite going.
Well then, mission accomplished.
Ladies and gentlemen, Metal Wars, Metal Hearts, available in theaters starting tomorrow. We'll be right back after a short commercial break. Good evening, Night City. My guest today is Mark Muratovich, author of Flowers of Silence, the untold story of Hanako Arasaka. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thanks, Ziggy. Happy to be here.
Tell me, did you ever consider researching a less hazardous topic? Maybe scavenger chop shops or the inside of a volcano?
Well, it's true. Saburo Arasaka wasn't exactly ecstatic to hear I'd taken such a keen interest in writing a piece on his beloved daughter.
Now, in case my dear viewers don't recall, the last person to pen a biography on Hanako Arasaka committed suicide. The poor man shot himself 10 times in the back.
Yes, well, that was a sad story, but of course he wrote his book in secret, without express consent.
I certainly hope you haven't made the same mistake.
Heavens, no.
Phew. So then tell us, Flowers of Silence. How did you come up with that title?
It comes from an old Japanese proverb, unspoken words are the flowers of silence. I feel it encapsulates Hanako so perfectly. She leaves her residence only a few times a year, rarely speaks publicly, and is always surrounded by a small army of bodyguards.
Wow, how does she occupy so much time cooped up in that crystal cage of hers? Origami? Crossword puzzles?
I'm afraid I don't know, but her villa is equipped with a private fiber optic cable capable of 300 terabytes of bandwidth. So...
Are you suggesting she's a net runner?
Well, now, I didn't say
We
that.
have to take a quick break, but stay with us. I'm not done with our Mr. Mark Muratovich just yet. Night City, hello and welcome. Today we have been honored with the presence of a woman with a body of chrome and a voice of gold. Please welcome Lizzy Wizzy.
Hey, Ziggy. How's my favorite host?
You know, not so bad. I was just about to sit down with the hottest star on this planet.
Oh, please.
Well, you asked. So then, Lizzy, everyone's dying to hear about your new album, Fuck All Walls. Tell us, please, which walls you mean and why you'd like us all to... well, you know.
Well, those walls can be interpreted in different ways.
But the cover shows an actual wall, one separating North and South California. In fact, we have an image of it right here.
Yes. For me personally, I see the wall as the fracturing of society, the death of empathy.
Of course. What lies on the other side of that wall is something you can't see, and what you don't see can't concern you.
Exactly. California used to be a single state, much like the U.S. was a unified country. Sure, many of us were divided by ideology, but something still connected us all. Today, though, it's everyone for themselves, cut off, isolated. We split people into camps of the best and the worst. Every day, dozens of people die at the foot of that wall, only because they seek a better life for themselves and their families.
But don't you believe every country has a right to defend its borders?
I think I can answer you best with a favorite quote of mine. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's why I say, fuck all walls!
Would you like to stand up for what you believe in? Change the world for the better. If you buy Lizzy Wizzy's new album today, you'll receive her bonus track, Born Equal.
It's worth it, my wonderful, gorgeous friends. Let your voices be heard.
Until next time, Night City, and remember, fuck all walls! Welcome back to Night After Night. I'm Ziggy Q, and we have a special guest tonight. He wants to be your next mayor, Mr. Jefferson Peralez.
Hi, Ziggy. How have you been?
Me? I didn't think you'd care. About me or any of us, for that matter. Let me refresh your memory.
But some cynics out there don't see Night City's beautiful potential as I do.
Do I love this city? Do I love its people? I have never loved anything. A classic Holt tactic.
How do you mean?
Well, that was taken out of context. I was responding to a question about my love for the city and how I differ from your average CEO whose only goal is a fatter paycheck. Nasty tricks are a substitute for Holt's lack of achievements, I suppose.
But he claims both crime and unemployment have dropped under his watch.
A 3% change, sure. But do you know how? Holt changed the status of Pacifica into a sort of unincorporated area, meaning that the district's statistics no longer drag down those of the whole city. It isn't progress, just creative bookkeeping.
Okay, Jeff, in that case, how would you heal Night City?
For starters, I'd relinquish all corporate representatives from the Night City Council.
Whew! You know, it's refreshing to know some politicians still have a spine. More after the break. Good evening, Night City! Boy, do I have a treat for you! Make that 3 treats! On the show, we have the girls from, wait, how do you say it? Ass cracks? Us cracks?
Ziggy, you can say it however you want. Meow. He's pretty cute in person, isn't he?
It's a relief to see you girls in such high spirits. I mean, after someone destroyed your equipment truck, it must have been terrifying.
You are joking? It was wild. This is why we love Night City. It is so crazy. Exactly. Tokyo is so boring.
And if a man set fire to your limo right now, what would you say to him?
Invite us with you next time. Pow boom!
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Us Cracks! Don't miss their upcoming concert. You've never seen anything like it. Good evening, Night City! My very special guest tonight is Braindance producer Rachel Casich. You may remember her from such BDs as Maxwell's Rehab and Cyberpsychosis. Rachel's been known to rustle a few hornets' nests, and she's at it again with her latest project, The Passion of Joshua. Did your publicist tell me right? You want to recreate Christ's crucifixion?
That's exactly right, Ziggy.
Complete with nails, spears, thorns, all the gory details?
Right again, Ziggy. Just as the Bible describes it.
Were you only taking auditions from actors who have experience in coming back from the dead? Zombies, maybe?
No, unfortunately, that wasn't something we hoped to achieve with this project.
In that case, I'm guessing you didn't have many actors eager and lined up for the role.
No. Our search began in the prison system, with people on death row. Seeing as how they were destined to die soon anyway, well...
Why not die for you?
No, not for us. Their death would help others. We hope the experience will awaken something in people, give them insight and direction in their lives.
And you have no issue casting a loathsome criminal as the savior of the universe?
I'll answer you with a piece of wisdom from St. John Chrysostom. Be ashamed when you sin. Don't be ashamed when you repent. Our actor, Joshua Stevenson, has committed horrible crimes, it's true, but he deeply regrets them and he seeks redemption.
If it's not too early, what's next for you after this? St. Lawrence burned alive on a spit? St. Cassian stabbed to death by children?
That depends on the success of this project. We're always eager to make sequels.
Oh, I just hope we have enough convicts to go around. Thank you, Rachel, and until next time, Night City!
Hello, Night City! Please help me welcome my guest today, President and founder of the Wake Up Foundation, Mr. Louis Mckay! Now, Louis, what is it your foundation does exactly? Alarm clock advocacy?
No. We help people who've been forced to take part in illicit brain dance, or XBDs. It can be very difficult for them to return to a normal life afterwards.
And I understand you speak from personal experience?
That's right, yes. I was forced into it, many times.
Apologies if I'm overstepping, but,
Rape. Usually rape. There's always demand for it. I did eventually escape it all, but I was a shell of my former self. Out on the streets, no help, no support. And I was lucky. We have this case now, a woman who worked as a doll. She ended up at an XBD studio after her doll implant failed. They had her linked into the editor for several days straight, non-stop. What they did to her, torture, doesn't begin to describe it.
That's horrible. Ugh, my God, what happened to her?
She's in a catatonic state, severe brain damage, epileptic fits, Beyond help, I'm afraid.